Deion Sanders, Colorado football. Oh, who isn't fired up for that? This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am joined by guest Brooks Bentley today to talk about Deion Sanders, as the hype train for him has been at a very high level. Despite losing to Oregon by 36 points, the media coverage for Deion Sanders has still been there, as the hype train will just not slow down. With Colorado going up against USC tomorrow, this game will certainly be on everyone's eyes, as this will tell a lot about where Colorado is at as a team and as a program in college football. Before I say anything else though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So here it is. Has Deion Sanders gotten too much hype from the mainstream media?
All the hype is a little too much, especially after getting blown out by Oregon. They're maybe not the team everyone was expecting. They're still a good football team. They still got a lot against USC. It will definitely show that they've improved.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot of hype from the mainstream media. Some of it is justified, some of it isn't. It really depends on what you're listening to. If you're listening to the normal people that are talking about Deion Sanders, then no, he's not been getting overhyped. He's been getting the correct amount of hype. However, if you've been listening to the people that have been overhyping Deion Sanders, you know, the guys that are fanboys of Deion Sanders, the guys that are obsessed in love with Deion Sanders, then yeah, of course that they are overrating Deion Sanders. They're acting like Deion Sanders is the greatest coach that have ever lived on planet Earth. They're acting like what Deion Sanders is doing is unprecedented, and they're acting like this dude is already on the level of a Nick Saban, of a Kirby Smart, and that honestly just isn't right. Deion Sanders is a good coach, but he's not on that great level yet. And honestly, when you listen to guys like Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, those guys love Deion Sanders like crazy. They will do anything to talk about him, and honestly, they sound like guys that are doing anything that they can to get Deion Sanders on the show and to get Coach Prime to go ahead and rave about them. But look, what Deion Sanders has done has been great, okay? What's he done with Colorado from top to bottom? Really impressive what he's done, because last year they were a one-win team. Now they're already at 3 wins. They already beat TCU. They already beat Nebraska. They already beat Colorado State. Yeah, they got smacked at Oregon, but you know what? Oregon is the best team in the Pac-12. They're really good at what they do. There's a reason why Oregon is respected by a ton of people. What do you think about that?
Completely agree. He's definitely turned the program around. Already won 3 games this year. It's going to take some time. You can't just turn a program around and expect to go to a national championship like everyone thought they would. So it's definitely going to take some time.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. And listen, your dad was a former college head coach yourself. His dad was Bobby Bentley, by the way, for the people that don't know in this audience. Bobby Bentley used to be a former college head coach. He is currently an analyst at UCF, helping out on the coaching staff part-time. What do you think about what his dad would be saying about this situation?
Yeah, he probably just because of the things that he's done for the program, and he's brought through a program in 1 year. Even if he's still doing it right, that's allowed in college football now. He's done a great job, and that's probably what you say.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what do you think about the jealousy that has surrounded around Deion Sanders, where all these coaches have been criticizing Deion Sanders? Like, what do you think about the jealousy surrounding around them?
Still, a lot of people are definitely jealous of the program that he's built, just because of all the hype that he's getting. He shouldn't be getting that. So just like the Oregon coach, what he said last week, they're playing for clicks. A lot of people are out to get them right now, and are going to be back, especially in year 1.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that Deion Sanders has gotten a lot of success because of his personality, because of the fact that he was a former NFL superstar, because of the fact that he's a Hall of Famer. There's a lot of reasons for why Deion Sanders has gotten more coverage compared to other college coaches, and they just feel like Deion Sanders has not quite earned that level of respect yet. Deion Sanders is a good head coach, but people need to stop acting like that he is the greatest head coach that have ever existed. He's not even the best coach in the Pac-12. That title belongs to Lincoln Riley. Speaking of Lincoln Riley, what do you think USC should do in terms of how they should approach this game? Should they approach this like another game, or do you think they should approach this like we got to beat the heck out of Colorado?
Maybe try and get some hype your team up for a big game. I mean, you're going, it's going to be a loud environment. But just treat it like another game. You made a good team, so he plays good on offense, which I expect he will.
Do you think that Lincoln Riley would take any shots at Deion Sanders prior to the USC-Colorado game? Because some of these coaches from the previous opponents have taken shots at him, from Matt Rule to Dan Lanning to Jay Norville. What do you think?
I would hope he'd learn his lesson and not do that, but coaches are who they are. Get his team ready, maybe he will, but I don't think he will. They're just going to go out and play and first off.
Yeah, I would hope that Lincoln Riley would know what he's doing. Lincoln Riley is one of the top coaches in college football. I would hope that he wouldn't have to trash another man in order to build himself up. I mean, look, what Deion Sanders has been doing has been incredibly impressive. I'm not trying to kiss his shoes, but what I'm saying about Deion Sanders is that what he's done at Colorado is low-key almost unprecedented. Because remember, this was a one-win team last year. Now they're at 3 wins. This looks like this is going to be a team that's going to finally make it to a bowl game this year. How many wins do you see Colorado having this year?
I think they can definitely get to 8 wins. If they play to 6 wins, it's probably worst case scenario. I think they definitely make it to a bowl game this year. But maybe winning that bowl game, getting 7 wins after the first year would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Colorado, they're going to be a good football team this year. They're not going to be this 10, 11 win team, although if they are, that would be fantastic for them. They're not quite at that level yet, but I think that they can get to at least 6 or 7 wins. Now, look, the Pac-12 is looking to be a little bit stronger than what we initially thought heading into the season. So obviously, Deion Sanders has that going for him, but they've got a really good offense. Shedeur Sanders has been playing really good football for Colorado. Dylan Edwards, even though they don't run the football nearly enough, he can run the football really well too. Now, obviously, they lose Travis Hunter for a few weeks, so obviously that's going to be low-key brutal for Colorado because he is the heart and soul of that Colorado team. But if you're Colorado, what do you do in order to force the upset against USC? What is your game plan?
Hope to get some turnovers to try and get lucky, get a fumble here and there, and then I'd say just play off and lock so you don't give the ball to USC with so many possessions, and then taking advantage of every opportunity you get. If you get a turnover, you have to capitalize on just taking it slow and then taking your shots whenever you can. When you get a chance to really get it explosive in the passing game.
Yeah, and if I'm USC, I'm thinking about beating the brakes on Colorado early in this ball game because you don't want to leave an underdog team hanging in there because the sooner you can get the win, the better it's going to be for USC. But if you're Colorado, you absolutely want to keep this game close. If I'm Colorado, I'm playing basically prevent defense on USC all game long. I'm going to make Caleb Williams beat me by the short passing game. I know he can do it, but I want him to do that because I don't want him burning me on 75-yard touchdown passes on every single drive. I want Caleb Williams to beat me by paper and scissors, which basically means checkdowns. I want Caleb Williams to check down the ball because the more plays that USC runs, the more likely of chances that they will have of making an error. And if they get some errors, that's going to help Colorado out. Now, offensively, what Colorado has to do, Shedeur Sanders, he has to learn how to get rid of the ball a little bit faster. He's a good quarterback, but sometimes he holds onto the ball too long because he's trying to make a big play happen. That's obviously got to get cleaned up, and they got to use Dylan Edwards in the run game. If they can use Dylan Edwards in the run game, eat up some clock, score on the possessions that they do have, that's going to be very good for Colorado to have. All right, so let's wrap it up with this question. So who do you see winning between USC and Colorado? What's the score going to be?
I see you win the game. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, especially on USC's side. And I think Colorado could hang around, so I'd say 45-28 USC.
Okay, yeah, you're going to go with a blowout victory for USC. Look, I don't blame you for going there at all. I know that some Deion fanboys is probably thinking, oh yeah, Colorado, yeah, they're going to go ahead, win that ball game. Well, some people might be like, yeah, Colorado needs to lose by 50 points, humble down that Deion Sanders guy. But I'm not going to take either of those positions because those positions are pretty extreme. I'm going to say that this game is going to be a blowout though, but it's not going to be anything too crazy. USC is going to score 52 points. They got the best quarterback in the nation. Their offense is elite. Colorado's defense doesn't have the pieces to slow down USC's offense whatsoever. So I got USC scoring 52. As for Colorado, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to have a pretty good game because as good as USC's offense is, their defense is equally just as awful. So Colorado, they're going to have a chance to put up points on the board. Ultimately, though, I see Colorado making more turnovers than USC. That's going to be the difference in this ball game. So I got USC winning against Colorado by the score of 52-38. That's what I got happening. Well, thanks for being on the show, Brooks. Really appreciate you coming on here. You're the son of a former college head coach, so I feel really appreciative getting to hear your analysis about how Deion Sanders has been successful at Colorado. All right, make sure you follow his Instagram at bbentley19. He also has a Twitter account. It's at Brooks Bentley 13. I'll put the links in the description box below. Again, thanks for being on the show, Brooks.
Yes, sir. Big D. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. All right, see ya, bro.
See ya, Big D.
Yup. Bye. That was Brooks Bentley that you guys just heard. All right, so he understands the success of Deion Sanders in Colorado. He understands that there is a harsh reality out there. I understand that there is also a harsh reality out there for Deion Sanders in college football. The haters are going to be there no matter what. The mainstream media, they're always going to rave and criticize Deion Sanders. They're going to go with the flow of the popularity. I think if you're talking to normal people, they would understand that the mainstream media has not been overhyping Deion Sanders. However, you listen to the fanboys of Deion Sanders, guys like Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp, from Stephen A. Smith, then yes, they would understand that Deion Sanders has been entirely overhyped and that people need to stop giving him the treatment as if he's Nick Saban or Kirby Smart. He's a good college head coach, but he's not quite there on that level yet. He's got to earn some wins first. I mean, look, 3 wins for Colorado is already pretty good, but let's see if Colorado can get to 10, 11 wins a year. If they can do that on a consistent basis, then Deion Sanders would be the next Nick Saban, the next Kirby Smart. Deion Sanders right now is just a pretty good head coach, but the hype train on Deion Sanders has gotten a little bit out of control, but it's not overly out of control. It just depends on which audience you're listening to. So that is why the hype for Deion Sanders has been justified, although it has gotten out of control from certain mainstream media outlets. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to the Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and that Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel Sports Guy Talking.